I'll be honest, handstands aren't really essential. You can live a perfectly normal, happy life without ever going upside down. I mean, look at all these people here, just the foot standing. But also, like, why not? So I learned to handstand back in 2013, and it was actually inspired from an Instagram hashtag from a guy on the other side of the planet. Today I find myself on that same side of the planet, the land of upside down, and yeah, I'm gonna try and convince you that you too should learn how to handstand. Now, to get to the fun part, you do need to learn. So what I will do is link to a full tutorial free guide that you can download and begin your practice. But I want to explain kind of the process and the journey here. There's always going to be a noob stage when you start, because you need to spend a minimum amount of time balancing, and initially that's basically 0. It takes a lot of time to get those first 1, 2, 3 seconds, but the progress will compound, and that 3 will turn to 5, and that 5 will turn to 10. And this is when you begin to enter the fun stage. This is where you get that sense of freedom, that play. This usually coincides with a lot of handstand pictures appearing on your socials. It can also become a really social side of training and like jamming with others. Speaking of which, we're late for one today. Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain.
And that person who inspired me all of those years ago, his name is Paul. He's based here in Perth, which just so happens to become kind of like a hotspot for handstands. Now, I probably should mention that these guys haven't been doing handstands 6 months. Pretty much everyone here has been training over a decade. And pretty much all of them I actually met around 10 years ago. And I've known them through a phone screen, I've watched them progress, and I've progressed with them. And they're all kind of world-class handstand coaches. So I thought I would share a little bit about them, what got them into handstands, and any advice that they have for other people starting out. First up, we got Paul Twynam, the person who got me into handstands in the first place. He's someone who learned later on in life, a really great coach for basically everything handstands.
For me, getting into handstands was all about seeing a picture of someone in a one-arm handstand. And when I saw that, that was it. I wanted that thing. I did think I was going to get it in like 30 days though.
Yeah.
So
how long does it take you?
to get the right side, it was 18 months to 2 years, and then another 12 months to get the left side 10 second. It brought along with it the press handstand, the handstand push-up, the muscle-ups, like all the other parts. They just opened my eyes up. And at the time I was playing with a bit of CrossFit as well. And I had in my head that I was going to be like in my 40s competing in CrossFit and stuff. But within like a week, my eyesight had just gone straight to this handstand journey. It really it was like another world.
And advice for someone starting?
Accept where you are and know it's possible. The cool thing is, like, if you look around, there's so many people in their 40s, 50s, 60s that are doing amazing things on their hands. I was 37 when I started, and I'm 49 now. And find your journey as well. But a lot of people think they need to have a handstand that looks a certain way, or they need to have a certain amount of flexibility, or they need to train all these other skills as well. But they don't have to be. You know, it could just be a handstand that you do when you're not rock climbing or doing yoga or whatever it is. It's just a fantastic goal to work towards.
Next, we've got David Marion. He is actually a national level gymnastics coach and professional bro-nastics himself, and a lot of training experience with handstands.
I have been training pretty consistently for about 20 years, since I was about 16. I think I've been fascinated with handstands from a young age, and then the second I started like training it correctly and getting that feeling of like controlling and owning my body, I was just so hooked.
Did you do gymnastics as a kid?
I did not. Got involved when I was 22, I think, started coaching, and then coached that for 3 years before I decided to kind of take it up myself in terms of like the bro-nastics, not so much the sport itself. My first thing that I learned was a press before I could hold a handstand. And once I started lifting my legs off the ground, I was just like doing reps every day.
Yeah, I guess like what's your advice for?
Be prepared to take it slow. I think there's definitely people that will learn quicker than others, but that often like ends up hindering them in the sense that their wrists and shoulders or whatever else maybe don't have the capacity to like develop as quick as their coordination and strength might allow. Like get on top of your wrist mobility, your shoulder mobility, and all of that will really help over the long term. You think what the best case for you might be to learn a skill, 6 months, 12 months, double that time and call that your best outcome. Okay. So if you think it's going to take you 6 months to learn a 30-second handstand, 1 year is probably more accurate. And just just enjoy the journey.
Finally, we've got my good friend Ulrik. He's as close as you're going to get from the advice and mindset of a professional hand balancer, teaching workshops all around the world.
So show how serious.
Oh fuck, that was wrong.
How serious you take handstands.
Yeah, this is the photo of the one-arm handstand that got me inspired to do to start with my handstand training. Just gradually took over my life, and at the peak, I was training usually between 2.5 to 4 hours per session, and then I also had 3 strength training sessions after that as well. So between 20 to 25 hours a week. It was such a big part of my life and my joy for every day.
But what about it?
It is something about the physical combination with the intellectual. It's like building blocks that you stack on top of each other from week to week, and that feels meaningful. It feels like something that gives value year after year, basically. Advice for beginners is to decide relatively early on how seriously you're going to take it or how far you want to reach within it. If you are just like, I'm going to see about handstands and stuff, you don't need advice from me. You just do whatever you want to do. I had coached myself for many years, and that is the smartest investment that I did from my training. I would not discover how to stand on one arm on my own.
And I think the note that you wouldn't make it by yourself is probably the most important one. Everyone here has learned from someone else, has been inspired from someone else, and has got an immense amount of value and joy from sharing this practice with others. Training is ultimately a very solo endeavor. It's you against yourself and you trying to improve. But there are lots of people around you going through that same struggle. And those people might not necessarily be in your local area, but I guarantee there are plenty of people around the world who are interested in the same weird things that we are. Case in point, this particular day in Perth. Don't be afraid to reach out, whether that's to people in the comments or people you follow, and see if they're up for training, up for chatting. I think most of the people that I know definitely would be, and it's part of the reason I love doing what I do. I read every single comment on the channel. Like, that kind of community side of things, I think, is something that is lost. Who are the people that you can meet doing the things that you love doing? So that being said, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, hang around, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.